So we're going to start. So I want to ask, I think it's starting. All right. So I want to ask, what is a teacher? And we explored this question a lot over the semester, and there's so much to consider. I'll never forget. Kind of starting off track here. What I'd like to discuss today, out of the plethora of characteristics, is that you can't forget how to be a person, how to be you. So what I mean by this, if you ever ask yourself if you're ever not you, that to predicate, you need to be the you that is the best you. So if you're evil, maybe don't be you is kind of the last slide. So don't just be any you, be the best you. If you wish to be the best you have to constantly reevaluate and change. This adaptation and re-education is what we all as teachers strive towards, as we should. You need to develop your morals so that you can recognize things like a swastika on a desk, that you are positive, making positive and constructive connections in the classroom. Uh, this is also how like you have a conversation with a student who doesn't understand why they're in trouble for saying the word retarded, and this is how you take 15 minutes to go over taxes and your social security number when a student makes an offhand comment about, oh, we never learn anything that like is real life skills in the classroom. So you've passed and you're an ethically sound and knowledgeable individual, but how do you be you in the classroom? To effectively be yourself, you need a sense of comfort of your identity. You need a sense of your identity so that what you express is consistent and recognized, and you need to be comfortable with your identity because if you're not comfortable with who you are, why should your students be? Finally, you need a controlled yet honest expression of who you are. You need to control your expression so that you retain a neat level of professionalism and authority. It means not using blue Comic Sans font, even though it's your favorite way to type and you don't understand who outlawed it so unjustly. However, above all else, this expression needs to be honest, authentic. Unfortunately for us, students are smart. They're observers. And one thing my mentor teacher, Mr. Craig, told me at the beginning was that if a student will notice anything about you, and they'll say that. If they see a ketchup stain on your shirt, they're going to say something about it. And I saw this time and time again from a student saying, hey, you got a size sticker on your pant leg still, Mr. Richmond. To someone raising their hand only for them to ask if I knew what an ironing board was. So students aren't omniscient. We laugh about what they fail to notice, like the date on the board that's always there. But just how they're good at spotting ketchup stains, they're even better at picking up on authenticity. So what do students observe when through all these steps of properly being you, they can tell that you're being authentic? Simply that you're human. And you may be thinking like, of course we're human, we're not robots. But to a student, you just as well could be. Media, though not entirely accurate, gives a good glimpse into a cultural consensus on the perspective of teachers. In memes and on TV, students often see us as either angelic friends, super boring, or evil overlords. So we like to scoff at those notions, but we're obviously not evil, and any professional teacher knows where to draw the line so that you're being friendly, but you're being a teacher first, not necessarily their friend. However, it doesn't matter what we think, just how it doesn't matter if Henry David Thoreau or Shakespeare makes sense to us, because to a student, it might as well be French. So the student perspective matters. How students perceive us deeply affects their participation, their engagement, and their willingness to connect with us, which are pretty important things. Otherwise, there would be no valid reason to not let a robot teach. So while being authentically you is the best thing for classroom engagement, it doesn't mean being yourself is going to work magic. This isn't Harry Potter. Making every student like your class or participate or be willing to reach out and ask for help, but at the very least, you're teaching them the value of being yourself. Middle school and high school, they're worlds where identity and authenticity can be very difficult for students, confusing, even fragile. We as teachers need to show them not to be afraid of themselves. They need to figure out from your slides on prepositional phrases that you strangely love apple juice. They need, they learn from your talk about the Crucible and it's the difference with the movie. That your personal opinion is that the worst movie to book adaptation is Aragon. So the last important thing is that this accomplishes ownership of who you are and how that plays in the classroom. Your actions are always your own, but somehow the finger can always point to you when things happen. So it's important that you can point to yourself. So I'm really dependent on these guys. So when a student gets mad at me because I misspelled a word, I don't tell them that it was Mr. Craig that told me how to spell that, or I typed it into Google and that's what it told me. I own it and I say, I'm sorry, I'm a big dummy, and we have a laugh over it, but I own that it's me that made that mistake. So towards the end of the semester, in my sequential unit plan, we were teaching them how to write essays, a compare and contrast essay. And I did a lot of, rationalizing between trying to please my teacher, Mr. Craig, and trying to please what the university was telling me what to do, or what I misunderstood about it telling me what to do. And I didn't go with what I thought was best. But if I trusted myself more and I combined all those things, right, that make you you, the ethics and everything that you've learned in school, and if I trusted that, then I think things would have gone a lot better. And at the very least, I wouldn't have any excuse. I know that all my mistakes were me. So what I'd like to leave off with is that when I go into the new semester, I want to at least be authentic. I want to keep being me in the classroom and own what I do. So, thank you. Whew. I was scrambling after it started without me. Sorry.
That's good. That was great. This is a really hard question, and there's only one correct answer.
Ooh,
What's the worst part about the Aragon movie adaptation?
Okay. That's a personal question.
But there is one correct answer.
Okay. To me, if you want to talk about overall, what's the most egregious thing?
What's the worst thing? Yeah.
Okay, the most egregious thing is that two of the main awesome villains that aren't killed until, I'm not going to spoil it, much later on, are killed with vines. That's just my own opinion. That these two villains that are so awesome that I love reading in the books, so difficult to kill, and at the very beginning of the movie, which covers the first book, they're killed with vines.
That's a really great answer. It's incorrect.
Yes. Argue a different answer.
No, yeah, it's fine. That's a good one. So really, obviously, the biggest issue is that there's feathers on a dragon.
Okay. Visuals is what I was going to say overall.
Yeah, feathers on a dragon. Yeah. So I have one.
That's a creative take.
Yeah, I'll allow your answer.
Thank you.
Another question I have more related to what you're actually talking about.
Oh, great.
Is what? So you kind of talk about this being you and going forward with that kind of trusting yourself idea. What's one thing that you struggled with this semester that you already have a solution for next semester?
In regards to that, or just in general?
General.
What I struggled with this semester was really, I'd say it was my organization. So teaching and balancing being in a classroom and being in an academic setting. What I would always tell, whenever I would complain about things, I would always tell my teachers and my friends that it's not that any of these things is particularly difficult. It's just that it's a lot of time and it's a lot of different things. So I've really struggled over the semester to keep track of everything. I had a specific difficulty with looking back and re-examining all the instructions and assignment to make sure that I check everything off instead of assuming what I remembered about the instructions for the assignment. And going forward, and I've talked to Dr. Gator about this, definitely just putting things into folders, putting things on a Google Calendar, and with any assignment that I do, taking steps to, at several different points, look back and make sure I know what exactly the rubric's saying and what the instructions are.